is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. This is Lifestyles Defined. Welcome to another episode of AMA. If you're not familiar with how AMA works, you ask your questions down below and we will do the research and get back to you. Today's question comes from Marcos Pradel. Mark Pradel? Sorry if I'm butchering your name. So he pretty much wants to know, he commented on the Apple Music video that I did, the overview, and he wanted to know if that was it for Tidal. If what Apple did there was pretty much the nail in the coffin. I have a hard time saying yes, and I have an even harder time saying no. I know that's not exactly a straightforward answer. So here's the deal. In any industry, I think there's always room for competition. In fact, competition is at the very basis what drives the products or the services or that field into a better place. It invokes innovation. It brings prices down. It's competition is a very healthy thing. So the fact that Spotify was out here just doing the thing for so long is a problem. The fact that Apple just jumped into the game and by default every iOS user now has access to this service is a problem. And then you got the little guys like Pandora, who's still trying to figure it out, who clearly has a niche, who clearly is favored by a lot of people in the industry, but they're struggling. That's a problem. And then you have Tidal. Tidal, I think, Tidal found themselves on the wrong end of the fence. I think their initial entry into the market came off as this arrogant, well, you got these rich people out here telling us what we can and can't do. And I didn't quite understand that perspective because people, they say, look at how Jay-Z's behaving and he, Kanye, and they stand on stage and telling us about money for them and put the money back in it. But it's like, guys, you made them popular. You get what I mean? Like, not only did you make them popular and you gave them that arrogance, you subsequently enough removed it all from them. So you gave it to them back in the early 2000s, the 90s, when we would all buy CDs at $12 a pop. The record label takes the large slice of that, and there was still a little bit per album to divide up. But now when iTunes came about, everyone ran towards iTunes. This was clearly what they wanted. And selling albums did not work on iTunes. It was all about selling singles. So how do you now divide 99 cents between a record label and an artist's entourage? And it gets crazy. So now that there's an artist trying to get that back, and it's interesting to me to see how people just turn their backs on them. And also, this is all the political part of it, right? The other day, Taylor Swift single-handedly strong-armed Apple, and people were like, "Oh my God, good on Taylor Swift. I really like." Taylor Swift said nothing different than what Jay-Z was trying or is trying to accomplish with Tidal. So it's very interesting to see people's reaction to it. And if you strip the politics away, right? And by politics I mean Spotify is going to be number one still. Apple is a huge threat, and this is no different from back in the Windows 98 days when people hated Microsoft for bundling Internet Explorer, and every copy of Windows sold had Internet Explorer, and then they were deemed a monopoly, and it was monopolistic behavior. This is exactly what Apple is doing again. Let's not forget that these people just woke up and decided to put U2's album on every iOS device. Politics. You got Pandora, politics. You got the whole the conversation behind what the artist should be making. Mind you, I saw the breakdown somewhere online on Apple's service, on Apple Music. For every 4 streams that a song gets, it generates a penny. And that penny needs to be divided up into the record label and then the artist. And it's something like a 70-30 split. The artist gets nothing. So let's not think there's a lot of money here. But anyway, if you take that all away, right, and you line the apps up, the quality of service, I think Tidal is very strong. They both have 30 million song libraries. Because don't let Apple fool you. The iTunes library is very different than the Apple Music library. It's not the same. For instance, like the Beatles stuff is not available for streaming. So a lot of people don't get that. You're not streaming the entire iTunes library. So they're roughly the same library, the same body of music. In terms of sound quality, Tidal, hands down, knocks it out of the box. And I can tell you because I'm still using Tidal because someday I'll get to the review. Someday. Tidal it sounds exceptional. And it's one of those things where because we've been listening to low bitrate music for so long, when you hear something higher, it's just so refreshing. Trust me. Sure, it's a $20 premium, but it sounds amazing. I think Tidal has a lot to offer. And no, I don't think this is the nail in the coffin. They can compete, but I'm going to save it because I'm still doing the comparison videos and we're going to get deep in it. So thanks for your question. Watch out for those comparison videos coming. It's your boy Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace.